Hey there. I am live and really excited because I just got approved for LinkedIn Live. And this is my first LinkedIn Live session solo. I've gone live with my co author before on her LinkedIn channel. And to be honest, really excited to be doing this for the first time. So today I am going to be sharing how to use OBS, and this is a video I've been meaning to make, and I thought, why not just do this video live, and we can kind of kill two birds with one stone. So if you're listening in live, I'm going to be watching the comments, and if you have comments for me, then please do let me know, and I'll answer your questions. So shoot me over some questions. I'm going to say right here, say hi in the comments, and let me know if you have any questions. Cool. In fact, I hit the wrong thing, so I'm going to do that one more time. Say hi and ask questions in the comments. Cool. Boom. Let's get this banner up there. All right, excellent. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into OBS. So I've got an empty OBS here for you to see. And one thing that people get really hung up on when they first load OBS is they see all this and they're like, well, I'm not sure where to start. What's a scene? What's this? What's that? So I'm just going to go over some of the basics, and then we'll go from there. So one thing to note is the difference between studio mode and non-studio mode. So you'll notice when I have studio mode and active, there's a preview to the left and a program on the right. And if I don't have it active, it's just just one screen. So OBS has this notion of, program being, this is your program. Think of it as like live TV. And so what is the program that we're sending out right now? What's the TV news, the show, what have you? So you can think of it, program is live, and then the preview is the kind of behind the scenes. It's what's about to go live if you transition. And of course, these buttons in the middle will allow you to transition between what's in preview to program. So that's something that some people trip over at first. And so it's good to get that out of the way. Now, all studio mode does is allow you to have a preview. So without preview, it's just whatever you click on is going to immediately go live or go to your output. And in studio mode, you can kind of push stuff in and even make adjustments to it. Even if you've got stuff saved, you can make adjustments to it before you push it live. So let's take a look at some of the other things people get hung up on. These scenes and sources are pretty critical to how OBS works. And really conceptually, they're fairly simple. So you can imagine sources being streams or places where information or data might come from. And these are everything from, say, your web camera or a microphone, or it could be a screen share, or it could be even another computer. And I'm going to walk through how you can do some of those things. Now, I got some awesome questions. What do I use OBS for? So thanks, Elizabeth. I use OBS to record videos for promo. I use it to stream to YouTube. Unfortunately, it doesn't support LinkedIn streaming, so I'm using StreamYard to stream to you all today. But I use it so I can do live switching, so I don't have to hire a video editor after the fact. So if I'm recording a promo video for our app control room, or if I'm recording a how-to video for folks that are wanting to just learn more about facilitation, or just something that we're working on. I just recorded a video for how to use our Slack community, for instance, and I can do all my live switching and get my zoom levels and my color correction all like I want it. And I also use it for all my workshops. So that's the thing I'm really excited about showing for you today, is how you can take your video stream, make adjustments to it, combine stuff into it, and then send that into Zoom or into Google Meet or into Teams, wherever you're going to send your webcam anyway. Let's intercept that signal and change it on the fly so that we can then send it off to the meeting. So we can do some really cool things in our meetings. For instance, we might have our slides up and talking over top of them. Many of you might have seen the app. Well, rather than paying for that app and being limited based on the features they decide to add, OBS is way sophisticated and can do a lot of different things. So that's what we use OBS for, and why we're really excited about it. And thanks for everyone for listening. I see a lot of friends there, and Dana, John, Jeff Marple, all listening in. So that's great. Thanks for tuning in. And let me get back onto what I was hoping to share. So we've got we talked a little bit about some of the stuff that confuses people, and the main things are scenes and sources. So think of sources as your video cameras, your microphones, your screen shares, maybe other computers. There's all sorts of different sources. And in fact, if I go to add, you'll see a plethora of them. Now, one thing that confuses people is they look and they don't see web camera, and they think, oh, what do I do? And then they're kind of scanning the list, and they're like, none of this stuff makes any sense. What do I do? And then maybe you see video capture device, and maybe you see the icon and think, this could be a camera. A camera is a video capture device. And so you would be absolutely correct. And then if you get there and you click on it and this pops up, then most people get stuck right here because they see, wait a second, I don't see my webcam. Maybe I clicked on the wrong thing. What's going on? I kind of want to give up, right? Well, OBS is super powerful, and but its power can also make it confusing. So the reason they want you to name this before you select one of the items is because when you name it, you can reuse it. So you can use the same source in different scenes and different places. And so you could even have your camera on screen in 5 different places, and you could have them colorized and treated the same. So it's the exact same source with the same effects, but you just put it in 5 places. So naming them is really important to get a lot of the power out of OBS, but it also gets people stuck. So all you want to do is type in a name, and you can just type in whatever name you want. I'm just going to say Brio because I'm about to add my Brio camera. So I have a Logitech Brio right over here to my left, and when I add that, it's also flipped on its side. So I'll show you some of the powerful stuff you can do in OBS. So now that you've seen I brought in this Brio, I can turn it on and off. If I lock it, I can't move it. Once I've got it visible and unlocked, then I can do some things like resizing. If I hold down the Alt key, and I believe on Mac it's Command, I can crop. So notice it's not resizing, it's just cropping a bit. And so then I can do cool things like transform and maybe rotate clockwise. So now I'm upright again, and maybe want to crop out that light that I've got in the background. So maybe I pull this to the side a little bit, and unfortunately I'm not doing such a good job of that, but you see how I just made some manipulations here, and I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller, I can place it exactly like I want it. I could also add in a window capture device, and maybe I say I'm going to capture a window that's titled, I don't know, let's say control room. And so I've got this, that's not a great one. So this is the one I was thinking that I would show. And I've got so I've got the control room app, and then I can drag my camera over top of it. And if I make my camera visible, you can see me over top of it. Now, often people want to, they don't want a square, they want a circle. And so in that case, what you might do is add a property here. You're going to add a filter, and the filter you want to use would be a video effect. So there's effect filters and audio video filters. So effects are going to be more like audio effects, so reverb and delay and things. But here you can add in an alpha key, and that would allow you to, alpha out a background. And then you can also add in a masks. So an image mask would allow you to add a circular image that was transparent and then create a circular background. But I don't want to go into too much detail and confuse you. So I'm just going to just say for now, just to understand that inside of a scene, you can add as many sources as you want. And your sources can be configured by simply clicking this add button. And there's lots of different sources. You can add images. Images support GIFs, which is really cool. And if you're using like you bring in like some memes or some GIFs you've recorded, those will actually loop and play back. And text, you can do text over top of the screen. So very much like you see I've done in StreamYard, where I say hi and ask questions, you can do that inside OBS by simply adding a text source. And when I add a text source, I can just type in whatever text I want. Hello, for instance. I can change the color and all this goodness, and then change the orientation. I can make it like pink if I want, and change the orientation, and then I can move that around. And of course I can like make it disappear and appear by hitting these icons. Now now that you see that I can add all these things, I can also add a whole new scene. And now when I go to add a video capture device, you'll see that I can select the Brio and I can bring that in just like I did before. And so I don't have to go find it again. Now you can see if I switch between these two different scenes, you can see that I can quickly change these positions without having to set all those things up again. Now, let me show you again the difference between preview and program. So notice that program was black until I hit the transition. And even though I click over to the scene and then hit then my program, my output of OBS is still having the old stuff. So if I move this over here, nothing's happening to my output, and I could even come back over here and then change a bunch of things about this, and then it doesn't happen to my output until I've actually hit the transition button. Now, if we weren't in studio mode, any of these moves would be visible, as I'm making them. So that's just an important distinction to note. And so these scenes can be really powerful. And now I'm going to give you a quick tip on how to add in the output of OBS into Zoom. This is how it's done. So you're going to go into OBS, and I have a blog post on this. I'll share it in the comments later. Or if you go to voltagecontrol.com, you'll find my blog post on using OBS in your stream. And you can also just search for NDI OBS. But NDI, once you install the plugin and restart OBS, you'll see this new drop down under Tools. And if you click on it, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to come up on my screen share. That was a bit of a novice move. I apologize. Let me just double check just to make this sure. Yeah, there it is. Cool. So we've got main output and we have preview output. And so we've already talked about what preview and program is. So unfortunately, they didn't say program output, but suffice it to say, this is program output. Your main output is your program output. You can rename it. I just leave it OBS because why bother changing it if I don't have to? And then you click, and then you can also send your preview out if you wanted to. Like if you wanted someone to monitor what you were about to send out. So if you were working with a crew or a team or something. And then once you've got this sending out to NDI, you'll just need to install a simple program called NDI Virtual Input. And NDI Virtual Input just allows you to take an NDI stream and make it into a virtual web camera. And that'll show up inside of Zoom, just like a web camera, and also as a microphone. So you can notice that my microphone's coming in to OBS. That means it's sending audio to NDI as well. So you can capture both those signals and send them off. The last thing I'm just going to show you really quickly is my setup. So how I use OBS. So this is my workshop scene collection, and you notice that I clicked on a scene collection, and all these scenes changed. So a scene collection is just how you can save a bunch of scenes. Think of it as like a profile that just contains a lot of different scenes. And you may have noticed that my video locked up, and that's because I've got my video camera is being used by OBS. That's why I was using the Brio earlier just to do the quick demo. So if I punch around to some of these different scenes, you'll notice I've got my Brio sideways. I've got some screen shares set up that that I can toggle. I've got some cool animations going, and even on these screen shares, you'll notice that I can do my my personal image over top of the alpha, and that allows me to do some kind of voiceover stuff, and I don't know, lots of fun stuff like timers and just logo transitions, fun animations for break times and standby and whatnot. So anyway, more to come on this, but just wanted to practice going live once here and do a quick demo. I'm going to come back over to the comments and see if anyone has any questions. Hey, just some friends saying hi, and OBS on Apple's horrific if you're trying to do it, do a lot of customization. Yes, I agree. OBS on Apple can be problematic, especially if you're on a laptop without much video processing capability. Unfortunately, Apple uses ATI graphics cards, which don't do a great job of supporting graphics acceleration. So I've moved on to Windows. I have a MacBook where I do all my communications, email and whatnot. But I am using the PC for a lot of my OBS stuff. One thing to note, a cool hack for Mac is if you don't do absolutely under no circumstances should you do a full display capture. Sorry, you should not do a window capture. It will spike the CPU like crazy. Instead, make sure your windows are all visible and do a display capture, and then just crop down the sections that you need. And that will allow you to get past some of the CPU utilizations. I've been trying it on Linux. That would be there is a version for Linux. I would say give it a whirl. It is very popular in the gaming community. It's what everyone uses in the Twitch world, and so I would say try it out and see how that goes. And because it could work out well. And then wait, do you have to have a link to OBS that I can? Yeah, I do. I'll drop it in the comments once I'm not live. But it is open source, very popular. If you just search OBS, I'm sure it'll come up. So the things to make sure to download are OBS, the latest version for your OS, and then also you're going to want to download OBS NDI plugin, and then also Virtual Input by NDI.org. And the virtual NDI input is the virtual web camera that's going to allow you to use it in Zoom. And that's about it. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope to come on live soon. Again, maybe not doing an OBS demo, but maybe something more about workshops, facilitation, or innovation or whatnot. So thanks everybody for listening in. It was really cool seeing you all chat, and exciting to see where things might go in the future with this live stream. Thanks for listening.